Greetings, my friends. I'm here with another weekend update as we come into this weekend that we celebrate the ascension. As Jesus rises to the right hand of the Father, he entrusts the disciples, he entrusts us with the mission of bringing the good news of God's mercy and salvation and divine life to all peoples and places until he returns again, until the end of the age. And I'm here with now, recently canonized, last October 13th, Saint John Henry Newman, a convert from Anglicanism and one of our brilliant minds of the 19th century church, and he is our patron saint for campus ministry. So we certainly ask his prayers as we ponder what campus ministry and what our ministry is going to look like in fall as things get to resume. We've obviously started to resume things on a limited basis. You'll notice on the live streams that we have a couple of invitation-only morning masses, and we've been trying to catch, particularly with our students, because once we get to the end of May, summer's come and school's over, and so it's a nice chance to catch up with our graduating 8th graders. We've had all these years with them, and here we want to make those final memories, those final moments of their school time in elementary school, something memorable. So we'll see that again this Tuesday. On Thursday, we will again invite some of our religious ed families. Again, this is by invitation, optional, but it is wonderful to see them coming. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate with them and also to work on our procedures as we get used to a new normal and what that looks like. And then, of course, this Wednesday, last Wednesday and this Wednesday, we've invited our St. John's Food Cupboard. This is, again, an extension of St. Vincent de Paul Society, and beautiful ministry that they've done. They continue to keep the doors open every Saturday morning, faithfully serving the community in a time when food support is critical. In a time of economic uncertainties, this is our opportunity to be the hands of Christ meeting the general public. So we are excited to have that. And tell you the truth, it's just been an experience for me, not only as we're kind of getting used to new normal and how you distribute communion and put your mask on and all those little things, some of our little changes that we're getting used to, but I think it's been just refreshing to see in the limited confessions or carfessions and our time of adoration, in those morning masses, as we give communion, what that has meant to people, what it's meant to them to have an opportunity to enjoy the sacrament of reconciliation. How many times I've seen people come up, and even staff members, tear up because they haven't had communion in so long, and it's one of those things that you forget how much you're really missing it until you get that first moment to receive Holy Communion in 2 months. It's been amazing how to see the impact on parishioners and staff alike as they get to resume that. So this is our last week of sort of invitation-only liturgies. We are on track to open for Pentecost Weekend. So last weekend in May, starting with the weekend liturgies. So not Saturday morning, but we're talking the Saturday Vigil at St. Thomas, 4:30 Mass, and then rolling into our normal Sunday schedule, except for 5 o'clock. Usually for summer, the 5 o'clock Mass, once we are outside of MSU's time and campus schedule, we usually drop the 5 o'clock Sunday Mass for the summer. So that still gives 7 liturgies. Now, we're going to be at reduced capacity. The bishop has recommended that when we reopen, starting on that last weekend of May into June and July, that we start at 25% capacity. Now, the bishop has said it's hard to get a clear line on where the state is going to be at this point in terms of their pronouncements, but the bishop has backed reopening, again, in a limited sense, recognizing that our secular authorities are looking after us in many ways, but when they consider what is an essential service, they don't always appreciate the essential need of our spiritual well-being. And so the bishop has said, no, let us go forward. And again, you can see the diocesan website for more of those pronouncements, as well as they're going to do a Holy Spirit novena starting this Friday and moving on to Pentecost. So the bishop is going to back that we try a limited reopening for public worship starting Pentecost weekend. So that's what you're going to see in the schedule. And then we're going to go into kind of a special schedule for June and July. So I'm not going to try to first thing get all the weekday masses in. job one is to get the weekend masses online, and then we're going to have a modified schedule, mostly 9 a.m. masses. School's out, families are available to come to Mass, and we need to catch up on our sacraments, keep time open for funerals, and then afternoon confessions, and even weddings and sacraments of initiation. There's so much to catch up. So I really do beg your indulgence that we try a limited schedule that allows us special time for cleaning between all of our masses and liturgies and events, and also leaves us a little bit of schedule to be flexible to catch up on all the different events and liturgies that in many ways have been forestalled. Now I have to say, for the funerals and weddings that we've had, I just received a note from a wedding couple that just celebrated holy marriage just a couple days ago, and they had a marvelous ceremony. They had a marvelous time. And tell you the truth, it was amazing. I mean, just to have 10 people together when this is a work of the Lord, it's a work of grace, it's a work of love, it is a beautiful thing. So obviously we're grateful that the numbers can grow, that our capacity can grow, that we can resume public liturgies to come. But I tell you, even the small liturgies that we've had so far have been beautiful. Why? Because it's an encounter with God's grace. It's an encounter with grace. We are people of Easter. We're people of resurrection. And how appropriate that we can resurrect, right? We can celebrate the birth of the church and the rebirth of our open worship with Pentecost. So stay tuned. Again, things change. Stay tuned. And help each other. Again, if you are not receiving our emails, visit our parish website. Give us your email address. You'll see a link right on our front homepage. Give us your emails or update your registration information. For those who aren't online, and I think that is a significant portion of our parish, who are probably not getting our Facebook posts, our YouTube posts, our live streams, our weekend updates, our online bulletins, for those who are in the dark, do reach out to them. What we're going to do now that limited businesses are open, our print shops are open, which means it's easier for us to publish, which means we're going to get to the point for the next couple months, at least to get us through the summer, going to try to aim at a monthly newsletter. So we're working actually this weekend to get a newsletter out. It's probably going to be a couple pages. Do read through it. We want to give you a preview of coming attractions, what June and July in our limited reopening schedule is going to look like. And then we'll try to send that out because obviously not everybody is online. Honest to goodness, I am still using a flip phone myself. I don't have a smartphone. I don't get those social media posts easily. Thankfully, I'm at work every day, so I do get that through the staff. But nonetheless, we want to make sure that the important information gets out. And if we have to make changes, if we have to make adjustments, we want you to be in the know. So we are working on all sorts of ways of communication. But if you know somebody who's missing out, help us to either, if you can help them to get technologically online or connected, or again, just to realize that, maybe somebody's information's out of date, feed that to the parish office. Let's get our mailing lists up to date. Let's get our emailing lists up to date. What a marvelous time to improve our communication so we don't leave people in the dark. I know people are coming back from Florida and coming back from other places. As we gather for this time of year, this spring, this is a good time for us to rally and get connected, get reconnected, so that this can be a beautiful summer as we start to come together again with lots of precautions, and we'll go over all of that as we move on. But thank you for your patience. Thanks for rolling with the punches. Thank you for staying connected and sharing the news and trying to keep everybody on the same page. I'm really hoping that, again, with limited numbers and a full weekend Mass schedule, and very important to say, the bishop has dispensed us from our Sunday Mass obligation. So again, if you're feeling sick, don't come. If you are vulnerable in health, don't come. And even if you do decide to come and you're a little bit worried about the precautions and about, having people around you, you don't have to come on a weekend, right? We are dispensed from weekend obligation. We're going to offer Mass 7 days a week. You might want to try a weekday Mass. You might just want to even wait a week or two and just see what the numbers are. We'll get a feeling on that week one. Some of the smaller parishes have gone to sort of the lottery system, right? If you're a small parish and you only have 1, 2, 3 weekend Masses, you might see that they're, having online signups. I'm hoping that between our weekday Masses and our weekend Masses and the size of our facilities, where say like, St. Thomas, 25% capacity still would cover most of our weekend Mass attendance anyways. And knowing that a few folks are still not ready to come yet, we should be fine. I don't think we're going to have to turn people away. If for some reason we do and we get too crowded at a liturgy, please be patient if we have to ask for volunteers to come back another day. But my hope is that we don't have to do sign-up sheets and things which really would be difficult for so many of our parishioners who aren't online and maybe, don't have the technology to sign up for those things. They would just be at a loss. I don't want haves and have-nots. So we're going to try to do this as safely as possible and to give you enough options, even though June and July will be a special schedule. Again, this is why being in the know is important, and trying to get that information out to as many people. And that's why we're working on a mailer literally this weekend to tell you what are our new confession times, what are our new Mass times, what is that going to be? Again, weekend schedule is as normal minus the 5 p.m. Sunday liturgy, but the weekdays will look a little bit different in the meantime. I ask your patience. So please do share that information so that we can all come together as best we can. And again, if we make adjustments, we will try to get that information out to you as best we can. I think that is all the major stuff right now. Again, more stuff to come in the mailer. Look for that. And again, if you've moved or you've changed, please join the website. Again, look for that so you can update your information, your contact information. We want to be able to get the story to you.